This meeting of the City Council will now come to order, and the chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Councilman Williams is absent today. Councilman Avery.
Here.
Eccles.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is open for business. I'll ask everyone to stand, and Councilman Harris will lead the invocation. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. We thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, and ask that you will continue to bestow your blessings upon us, and we will give you all the praise continually. We ask that you be with the City Council and the Mayor and all the employees and officials of this city. Be with them, help them to make decisions that are worthy of your acceptance, and that we may do everything for the betterment of our community and our citizens. Be with our governments, state and federal, and help them to make those decisions which are beneficial to humankind. Be with us, guide us, and lead us, and we will give you all the praise. These blessings we ask in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meeting on February the 7th.
So moved.
Second. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of the accounts for the week of February the 3rd through the 9th.
So moved.
Second.
You sure we paid the heat bill? Okay. Somebody in the audience wanted to know.
They just need to snuggle up, sit together.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations, Mayor.
No, sir.
Unfinished business, we have none today. Resolution authorizing agreement with S&ME. This is for environmental services associated with the explosive gas remediation plant at the construction and demolition landfill. And the amount is $2,500. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, you want to talk about, when you say all that stuff, it brings up a question. Explosive and gas and all of that. I think we just need to explain that this is methane gas that we're talking about that's automatically generated in any landfill, so it's not a threat that the landfill is going to explode or do whatever over the next day or two. It's just that they have to monitor these things, and they have wells at all of them. As a matter of fact, the one up on the falls, I guess we'll be monitoring those things for the rest of our life. You have to monitor them, so that's basically what that's about.
As long as there's any gas in there, they'll keep monitoring them, and once they don't find any gas, they can close it off.
Okay.
So it might be, we might be doing this for 10 years, and it could be next year, we might be through. You can't never tell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we asked Mr. Harris if he could find a way to tap that source of energy.
Maybe we can get some heat in here if we did. But anyway, that's another story.
Pipeline at City Hall.
Okay.
All right, is there any other sincere discussion? If not, would you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
It's the first reading of an ordinance amending fiscal year 2012 budget, transferring the remaining balance of $2,500 from the Police Equipment Trust Fund to pay for items recently recommended for the Public Safety Committee. This ordinance was presented today for the first reading, and the council will vote on it next week. New business, is there any new business?
Mr. President, I have a couple of ordinances I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to consider this morning. The first one is amending the 2012 budget to reflect the grant funds from the State of Alabama Emergency Management Agency for hazardous mitigation in the amount of $360,763. So I ask for unanimous consent to consider this morning.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
I'll ask
consent has
for
been
passage.
granted.
I'll ask for passage, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is a grant to build individual safe house, rooms in residents, and there've been quite a few of them apply for this, so this is the state money to fund these safe rooms.
Is there any other new bid?
Any discussion?
We need to
Any
vote
other
on
discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
I have one other one, Mr. President. This is an ordinance authorizing agreement with Jack's Family Restaurant for the purchase and sale of property. I'd ask for unanimous consent to consider this as well.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
I'll
consent
ask
has been granted.
I'll ask for approval, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is a kind of a land swap we're doing with the Jack's, the downtown Jack's. I understand that they may be moving over. I'll let Jack's announce this, really. I don't want to go into too much detail on their business, but it is a land swap, and they will be building a new Jack's over across from Ronnie Watkins, so that's really all I want to say about it.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business?
Yeah, Mr. President, I have two resolutions, 070 and 079. The first one, 070, I'm asking for consent to consider this morning, is awarding bid number 3196 for a 100-foot aerial ladder fire apparatus with a pump. That's the fire truck, ladder truck. And the 079 is the lease that's going to pay for the truck.
You got a second?
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider both items today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
I move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, this is a ladder truck that I believe is going to be leased for 10 years, save us quite a bit of money. I think the chief said, how much was it?
At least $200,000.
At least that. Very good. And we did state upstairs, it has the same warranty as the new truck. It's a demo. It's a new truck. Great.
Hey, I feel good about it. The chief said he's going to co-sign on that note, so I think we'll be in good shape.
Well, we all know if anybody's got it, he has.
That's
So
right.
There ain't no problem there. Okay.
Any other discussion?
And this is a lease.
It's actually purchase.
Lease purchase.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Because I know once upon a time, we used to have quite a bit of money in our equipment budget for the fire department, but several administrations ago, they decided to tap into that, and I don't know if our fleet is getting behind again.
We're still trying to keep up, we just haven't financed it a little bit different from what we would have, instead of having to pay for it outright, we had to finance it.
I understand that, but we passed, well, we didn't, the citizens passed a fire tax some years ago for the entire county for fires. And if I remember correctly, when I was on this council way back when, we enacted that tax for equipment. And then, of course, like I said, capital improvement, yeah, that's true. But we had one heck of a budget. We were buying new fire trucks and engines, and we were paying for them with no problem.
Built 2 new stations.
Built several new stations, the whole 9 yards, and then somebody just couldn't stand prosperity. They decided to go in there and use it for something else. I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead.
Wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you, no.
You still doing it, though.
I'm still, what now?
You're still paying salaries out of it rather than doing capital improvement because you're having to borrow money now.
Yeah.
So,
That's,
We put them in that.
You didn't go
that's
back
not
and
my
read-
fault, that's this group up
you
here.
didn't go back and read the law.
You picking on the wrong
There's some
one.
other laws we didn't read either. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, if you got money in a fund that you're not using, and you got a real need in another fund, move the money.
Oh, I agree with that. I've never been against anything like that. We've
Well-
done that a lot.
And I think our fire department's in a good shape,
That's
equipment-wise.
that's not quite true. I mean, if you pass a tax and you say it's for Y, then when you start using it for Z, you got a problem.
Well, you always change the time. You always change the law.
I agree, that's what I'm saying. You either change the law, because otherwise
We didn't change the
that's
law.
why, I know it, and that's
I
why.
guess we did.
And I don't want to.
Chief, do you want this fire truck?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to be on my soapbox this morning because we get accused as elected officials of going back on our word. And of course, some of us do. For a number of years, I stopped voting on the budget because of that, because, when we passed that fire tax and added it on, we said we was going to do it for X, Y. And we started doing it for X, Y, and Z, and I stopped voting on the budget as a result of that. But anyway, that's another story. I just,
Call for a vote.
call for the vote.
Thank you.
Okay, call for the vote.
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
See, any other new business?
Mr. President, I have two items that I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider today. The first item is a resolution authorizing agreement between the City of Gadsden and the State of Alabama Emergency Management has a litigation grant for a smaller amount than the one that being a bill introduced, so I ask for unanimous consent to consider today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
See any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The other item is a resolution authorizing agreement with the Alabama Bass Federations for a tournament which was held February 9th, 10th, and 11th at Coosa Landing. And the amount is $3,500, budgeted amount. I'd ask for unanimous consent to consider.
Second.
Well, we're only going to spend
We're
1,900
going to spend 19.
of the 35.
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
No. I was gonna make Kerry pay this, but I'm gonna take that back. I'll go ahead on the consent.
consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Since Kerry wasn't here, I was gonna make him pay for it, but I'm gonna be nice to him. Wait till we get behind and then he comes up with some stuff, but that's okay. I'm sorry, Billy, go ahead.
All right.
Those
Yes,
in
this
favor?
is for, the budgeted amount for this tournament was $3,500, but the actual amount that's being spent is around $1,900. So, Kerry will figure out something to do with the remaining amount of that budget.
The reason the amount is different, several years ago, we'd have people come in and say they're going to put 100 boats in the water, and they'd only wind up with 50. So now we pay them only for the boats that really show up at one of these tournaments. So that's the reason you got the difference.
$35 per boat.
And I think it was about 55 boats. this time
55
he
boats
said.
this time, that's what it was.
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any other new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have two, please. One is a resolution ordinance, another one is ordinance. The first resolution is authorizing application and accepting of a grant from Walmart in the amount of $500 for community disaster response. And the next one's ordinance amending FY 2012 budget to reflect grants fund from Walmart for community disaster relief. What this is just we're getting the money, then we're accepting it back in the budget. I'd ask for unanimous consent on this, please.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution and the ordinance today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
I move to adopt, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution and the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt both items.
Is there any other new business? Citizens request. Dana Williams wants the CED Mental Health report on SAD program and conference.
She's not here.
She left.
Well,
She left. She was upstairs for
Yeah.
council.
Yeah, well, they passed out some information here, I think, and wanted us to put it out, so, I do know that they're having a Etowah County SAD program,
I think it's a statewide.
it's statewide,
They're
yeah,
hosting a state.
and hosted
program.
here, yeah.
State SAD organization.
And tell them what SAD is about. What is SAD?
Students Against Drunk Drivers.
No.
No? I don't know, which one is that?
Destructive decisions.
That's,
It is.
yeah. Well, I think that's basically what it is, though, seriously. But this is, let's see, it's going to be, what, March the 12th? The statewide conference is going to be here in Etowah County, held on March the 12th.
It is students against,
7th,
it's students against destructive decisions, what it is.
oh, okay. Well, there used to be drunk drivers back in the day when I,
that was mad.
That covers it, I think, too.
no, it was sad, too. Yeah,
They're synonymous.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah. But the bottom line is, I think it's going to be here, and hopefully they'll come back and give us a update on it.
Okay, remarks by the mayor and the council. Mayor, you want to start?
I'd just say that I didn't know having 3 months operating expenses set aside was a bad financial decision until the last election. But anyway, if we, are ready for any emergencies, we're ready. And if you look around, everywhere article every day just about in the paper from somewhere, cities laying off, people losing their pensions, no raises, cutting back, having to let prisoners go, whatever. And we've given 5 raises out of 6 budgets. Insurance has increased once in 20 years. And we hadn't laid anybody off, and we got a lot more things than we had when we got here. So we're going to keep on being a tightwad, I guess.
I didn't want to hear that, but go ahead.
Billy?
Well, thank you, Mayor. We are, and I guess we'll have to just continue to say that as far as we're concerned, fiscal responsibility is a great item, and I think it has been exhibited through your mayor and your city council, and I think we should continue pretty much in the same vein that we're traveling in now, so that you can feel comfortable, that your well-being is being put first here in the city of Gadsden. And that being said, we will have a District 1 meeting at 6 o'clock on next Monday, the 20th, February 20th, at East Gadsden Recreation Center. I'll invite all East Gadsden residents and all the residents of Gadsden to come on out and hear what we will be discussing. Thank you.
Mr. President, I have an announcement here, too. Etowah Cross of Life Health Services would like for us to join them for a Hearts in Motion, and that's today, February 14th, from noon to 3 p.m. at the Carver Community Center. Etowah Cross of Life supports Go Red for Women in the fight against heart disease, and Dr. Deborah Smith, who is their Chief Medical Officer, will be speaking over there today at 12:30. So they're inviting everybody to come out. They're going to have cash prizes and a lot of other giveaways. And that's going to be happening today from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at the Carver Community Center. So please go out and join them in their screening and their health program. It's going to be in the gym, okay, in the gym at the Carver Community Center. I also, too, would like to make an announcement that my district meeting will be Thursday, this coming Thursday, at 5 p.m. at the Carver Community Center, not noon, not 10. They had it at 10 a.m., I think, on the monitors over Channel 99, but it will be at 5 p.m. So if you guys would help me on that and get the word out, I would appreciate it. We will be discussing a number of issues. Again, the redistricting situation is not cleared up yet. I see our illustrious city attorney is not here this morning. He has not submitted the information to the Justice Department at this point in time. So we're going to be discussing that issue and several other things. So please, ma'am, and please, sir, come out to the meeting.
I know, you probably noticed I'm wearing a sling today, and what happened, my son-in-law cut me. So, actually, he's a neurosurgeon and did a carpal tunnel on me, so everything is fine.
Neurosurgeons worked on your head. His arm.
They'll cut you anywhere you'll pay for.
He's getting back at you, that's for sure. Ooh. Terrible.
That's all I.
Johnny, you can tell me about last night's meeting?
Mayor, I just wanted to tell you that I'm glad of everything you had to say a while ago when you got down to that pension remark about nobody hadn't lost their pensions or anything. I always remember, if I ever lose my pension, I know where you live. 4 more dependents come and live with you. So we need to keep my pension, or I will move in with you.
Well, two things. One is I don't ever have a vote. And the other thing is I still got the paddle I used to use on you when you was in ninth grade.
Well, we'll all be there, trust me, if that happens. I do want to talk about the meeting we had last night, the District 6 meeting we had at Banks Park. We had about 60 people that turned out. We had a real good turnout, and we're going to try to meet again maybe in around 6 weeks down at Banks Park again. You'll get some further information on that, but I do want to say I appreciate everybody that came out last night to the District 6 meeting in Banks Park. That's all I have.
Ben?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that trust fund, and I'll be quiet. But I remember, Robert, we used to have like a $500,000 trust fund, and we had a $200,000, mostly in public works at that time. But that chief saved us $200,000 in one transaction. And I kicked that. I agree with you, Robert. We had it all set up and it was all there, but times change. But at least people like the chief have come through and found different ways to save that money, so we're in pretty good shape there.
Yeah.
Bill, I'm going to add one thing to my fine dining at Jack's. One thing. I never thought anything could top my fine dining at Jack's. But my wife took me to the Ritz Theater Sunday afternoon, and I sat there and watched On Golden Pond in the Ritz Theater. Culture. I mean, I have really come on in life. Fine dining now got culture from that. But I'm going to tell you, that theater of Gadsden is something else. Now, on a serious note, Mayor, we've done a good turn over there. I didn't really know what went on until I went over and watched that play. Those people are dedicated and they know what they're doing. It was really good and I enjoyed it immensely. And by the way, today's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's to everybody. That's all I have.
Okay. The city council will not meet on February the 21st, which is next week, due to the attending a Alabama League training session in Montgomery.
Is it a training session?
CMO.
Well, I mean, I know that, but
In the afternoon is the day with the legislature.
that's what I had referenced to.
Your legislature.
That's what I had reference to. Are we going to go down there and try to train them how to do their job or what? I mean, I know it's a CMO
They
program.
could certainly use some
you
training.
Maybe y'all could straighten that bunch out while you're down
Look
there.
here, it's going to take,
The National League's not till March, I'm sorry.
it's going to take longer than a day to work with that group down there. That's what I had reference to.
Well, I can tell you, don't take your knife with you because you'll have to bury it in the dirt outside to get in. But that happened to me last time I went.
And any other product that you may be.
Now, you can try it, but they're not going to let you in there until.
Yeah.
The next work session will be Tuesday, February the 28th,
Already.
in the council meeting. Nothing else. This meeting adjourned.